Now, I was sort of kind of YouTube surfing on YouTube, looking at random videos till I actually found one that grabbed my attention. It's called, in Spanish, The Reason Why People Hate Panda for We But Bears. Yeah, I clicked on it. Yeah, I thought it's sort of interesting sort of point of view of a collective mind of Latin America, why some people hate Panda. Yeah, I thought that was fine. Yeah, I moved on. But something strange happened that keep adding video at the video, repeating the same thing, different ways to explaining it, but different sort of point of views. And I was sort of shocked this simple hatred of Panda is a very popular topic in Latin America. Yeah, I'm wondering, this is a thing here in the United States, all people who speak English, they have started searching of the hatred of Panda for Wheatbread Bears on YouTube. And I find basically nothing. I find collective top 5, top 10, top 3 hated characters and cartoons, but usually Panda is not in the video. Once in a while he is, but most of the time not really, because hatred of a certain character in an IP is pretty normal. But for some reason, Panda still get hatred in the fandom, so I decided to answer my own question: how do I find the right answer? Yeah, I look at it in Reddit. I went to every single section, rewrote it a different way to find answers of the hatred of Panda. And also, some reason I've seen other people defending Panda, what they see their point of view, counting the hatred of Panda of people who hate him. And I found this all kind of fascinating. Yeah, breaking down on this video, but before I do, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you'll like how it's going, you'll like to help my channel, put like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If not, that's fine. If you do, thank you. Because of you, I am passing or getting close to my 2,000 subscriber goal. And yeah, yes, I am getting close every single day because the people put like, comment, and share. Thank you. I'm completely grateful you do that. If not, that's good. Now let's start with the video of the reason why people hate Panda and also how people kind of defend it. Now let's get started on the video. Now to understand Panda, you have to understand the reason why people hate him and also the people why they like him. Because Panda, he is a very cringy traditional weeb. He loves anime. He sleeps with a body pillow with a logo of an anime girl. So you get the idea what some the point of hatred comes from. The other part is he's sort of a simp. Every time a girl's talk to him, even that just giving directions, he thinks she is the one. He always thinks as a woman as a dating partner, but also would throw his friends and family off a bridge to get sort of points with a girl. So you kind of get it. He is not really a good person and sort of always selfish, kind of think himself. But that just sometimes. The other half of the time, he is a kind person who will need to take a bullet with his friends or family, even trying to consider someone else's feelings. Even that, every time he does many mistakes, he retracts what he did and trying to make it up to the next person he sort of belittled. But one of the biggest flaws of Panda, he is very hard to communicate. He doesn't know how to express himself and his true feelings. This shows constantly in the series, and also the main thing that's the biggest issue of the fans who hate Panda, because they sort of cannot not see the full picture, even that is sort of represented of them. I talk about that later on this video. Now let's start with the Reddit, the first one I found. It was a question asking that spoilers that anyone else was really annoyed by Panda doing the movie. If you don't know what they're talking about, Weeper Bears had a movie to end the whole series, and someone sort of answered it, but it's not probably the most popular answer of that question of Reddit. It's saying this summarizing, I will show the whole basic mini essay they put. Basically, they kind of agree they was sort of annoyed by feel sort of portrayed by Panda because everything they did is because Panda agreed with Grizz, doing the same horrible acts to get attention with somewhere else. But at the same time, the thing sort of killed them. It's a fat panda saying, "We're not brothers." That's something we say to feel ourselves better. And this is sort of the point, maybe one of a few reasons why a lot of fans doesn't like Panda, but it was kind of true, at least in my opinion. Everything else you can read what the answer was in this statement. But I have to say, yeah, I kind of agree everything they say, but at the same time, every single answer they give out in the movie, the reason why they have the blackout, the reason why they have to go to Canada, because of Grizz, and that was true. But I think it's the point was they say their Panda said, we're not brothers," and that's the thing that a lot of people kind of hurt them a lot. Even that the redditor who wrote this, they said, "Yes, I know this is just a fake character in the show," but it kind of did hurt my feelings. Maybe the reason why, because it felt Panda was sort of kind of developing in the show, becoming a better person, but you kind of forget the most important thing. Panda is sort of the compass of the group because Grizz usually have the idea, the leader, always planning out things to do in the group, and Panda is sort of the opposite, always worrying about the brothers, stating you think is a good idea, but I feel it could actually backfire. But I think this is the reason why people hate Panda, because he is kind of right, but at the same time you feel he's sort of narcissistic or something like that. You kind of get the understanding of this redditor. But to be fair, Panda always was sort of belittled in the whole family because every time he had to sacrifice something for his brothers, he never gave something back. Only his brothers, but he had to let go some things he likes to make his brothers happy, but he always giving the L every single time. And I feel that's something people sort of forget sometimes, even that he has a really darker story. But besides that, let's talk about the next Redditor answer they give why they hate Panda. Now, this writer sort of explains that he feels both characters on the series and movie is basically very similar, but yet it's not the similarities, it's the action he does. For example, what he did to Grizz and Bear and other people. For example, the gift here is basically the character called Lucy that Panda is sort of jealous or envious who wants to be a date with her. But every time he has a chance to date her, a panda does something horrible, like lock Grizz and Bear in a closet so he can actually date her. Other times he has a chance to date Lucy, he sort of fakes a broken leg because realizing she cannot dance. There's another time it's not written here. It's the fact he also sort of babysit her little kid brother just to date her, not realizing, oh, she has a boyfriend, and now he's lost interest of the boy. He doesn't care anymore. And that is sort of most of the stuff. There's more messed up stuff he actually did, like Charlie. If you don't know who he is, Charlie is sort of this big fool. He's sort of annoying, but he is outgoing. You can see why people love him, but at the same time afraid of people. But the bears kind of okay with him, especially Panda who hates him. He does sort of horrible things, but I have to remind you that Panda is his best friend to Charlie, because Charlie and Panda are actually bros, but not in the beginning. He did horrible things of it just to remind you, like the painting incident that uh, Panda attempted to paint a art for his art class, but the only problem is he didn't have inspiration and used Charlie for inspiration, and he did his best work. But Charlie did not like this because it sort of should prove his existence, but also liked the painting, so he decided to maybe keep it. But Panda sort of lied to him to give it so he can still show it off to his teacher, portraying Charlie. You have moments like this constantly on We Bare Bears. But be known is the fact he does regret this. He does evolve after that. But you can see why people sort of hate Panda, because he keep doing the same thing over again. But to be fair, he is a person who will take the L and ask forgiveness. But I get to more the positive thing later on. just to give you an idea why people kind of hate Panda. Now, our next Redditor sort of gives a completely similar but yet different answer. I found Panda extremely shallow and rude, and maybe a little bit narcissistic. He actually he gave another good example about Charlie and Mr. Otter. Charlie is the Bigfoot in Mr. Otter. I think it's from We Bear Bears prequel series that he find them extremely weird and odd, but when he sees sort of a mermaid from the second series of this sort of beautiful mermaid, but only looking outside, not in. Even Charlie and Mr. Otter are kind people when they're inside. He liked to judge them with the outside instead, while thinking what they could be evil person inside. And this is a couple of reasons why this Redditor kind of does not like Charlie, because he's not fully aware his sort of emotions, understandings of the situation of other people. He just like to judge like a superior character. And that's sort of the reasons why kind of people kind of dislike him. And you know what? I kind of understand because he always does this, but yet he does learn his lesson repeatedly. But he never constantly does this. He does have this different stories, but you get at least a general idea. Of course, there are some very simple answers. Also, people don't like him. Like the three complete different redditors given simple answers like, I love the show, but I agree of the same of Panda. He is sort of mature and selfish most of the time. Other people say I just don't like him. He's my last favorite bear. Or others just says he's just a simp, and that's it. And that is just sort of understandable, just simple answers to get the idea. But a lot of people do defend Panda for obvious reasons, understanding the character even more. How this writer puts it that I found really fascinating and endearing puts it, yes, Panda does suck, but everybody does. That's the whole point of family and storyboarding work of family. It's because, let's face it, Gris also a but if I just say buts, but you get the idea. But besides him, if you remove Grizz and Panda, you just have Ice Bear. Ice Bear doesn't really have no problems because he's always chill. So that means will be very boring storytelling. And this is the reason why this show is great, because all three of them are basically a mess a certain way. Each one of them sort of help each other become better. This is how you do great storytelling. But be fair, it's all about family. Like it's no man or bear single island. Everybody has issues, but it's togetherness. Things go wrong, they always there. Of course, be truthful. Panda is sort of more realistic as a real bear of real life because panda are sort of inept. They kind of struggle to do things in real life. So that's sort of more accurate to the character of the real bear if portraying. Just let you know. But besides that, that is a true kind of statement because let's face it, Panda is sort of the one who pushed the drama in the series, but also one who loved the most his family. Even that, let me explain, he's sort of his backstory or someone in Reddit kind of summoned a few words here. Let me show you the statement this person posted. Now, this editor pretty much said his backstory. What is that specific episode called? Two Pandas or Panda 2. That basically states of the whole summary of Panda being an orphan in a zoo, and he sort of maybe was abandoned his own mother, taking his own brother. That's all your interpretations, but you can read the Redditor's sort of answer. But besides that, he was always lonely. The only friend he has is basically Panda 2 that he named because it was stuffed bear given to Panda to get entertained, not feel lonely. Till he's hear a noise in the background, he was sort of getting closely interested what that is. He finally found entertainment, television slash internet. But during this time, he has a small chance to escape and then run away from the zoo. But the only problem is, this escaped had to lose his favorite toy, Panda, that he believes was a real person like him, a panda. but you have to let him go so he could be free. But this is the reason why he's sort of kind of lonely and rest of the time. In fact, he does not like being left alone because he feel anxious. This is the reason why he always needs attention on the line. He also attention on his brothers. Even that I have to remind you, his brothers always put him down because every time he has an idea or trying to do, he always trying to give his answer, his kind of his emotions, but his brothers always put him down. So you can see why he's sort of a narcissist or something like that. But once more, it's all about understanding the characters, understanding why Panda acts this specific way. Once more, that I found that very interesting. Now, this Ritter answer is sort of very compelling and interesting how he or her points Panda, basically saying that all the characters are great, but the only problem is it make Iceberg too perfect. Let the other two be more, basically find their own talent. That's basically what she's saying. But she can never really hate Panda because one specific thing. It's because it's sort of kind of relate to Panda, understand, but he never feel he is malicious. It's the fact he tried to basically stand up to himself and his brothers because he never really got the chance to become himself, becoming his own man, not of words. And this is the reason why I kind of understand why Panda do Pacific things, and that is true. If you have seen the series, every time he is sort of leading the family, or he got the chance to put his own opinion, Grizz always put him down, or Icebergs put him down, because they have a better plan, but never given chance Panda to do his own thing. And that's what the sort of the writer trying to say, that they sometimes you have to be a little selfish. This sounds wrong, but doing this to brothers who are vastly more talented than him, that Panda always get L's. And very rarely he has a W, so you guys understand why he had to be sort of selfish or narcissist, because he kind of need to make a point to his own brother, especially with Grizz, and because Grizz always sort of belittles him because he's his little brother, and not like a malicious way. He does it sort of accidentally because he is also protected of his little brother, and his little brother protects his own brother, but he never gave him the time to evolve, improve himself to later seasons. But I think this is sort of a true thing. But all of that, let's talk about another sort of answer of Reddit. Now, this answer I feel is sort of the most closest answer what is truly Panda in sort of his scenario. Because this brother responded, okay, I think first of all, that Panda is sort of kind of the sort of stereotype, sort of kind of geeky, clumsy, but sweet inside, that most of the time his own brothers sort of kind of pushing back 2 steps back because every time he does his own thing, they blocked him. One of the big examples this was Lucy, because every single time someone says something negative with Panda, they always go to the Lucy answer. But he's also pointing out, very interesting, every time he gave hints or tended to tell his own brothers that he has a thing with Lucy. Do I have some sort of him time to actually talk to Lucy to make maybe a relationship? But Iceberg and Grizz do not really see it or don't actually understand what's going on. And this is the reason why Panda had to go the extreme to block them to give more time to Panda and Lucy. Once more, this always kind of happens. It also, that people sort of kind of forget the details of the action, what actually happened. He did lock his brothers in a closet to have more time with Lucy, but people forget why he actually did it to begin with. Why his motivation doing this is because his brothers do not read the room or even tempted to tell them, but every time he had a chance to tell him, they push him around saying, no worry, little brother, I have this. Well, I'll actually give in a conversation or asking what's up. And that is sort of true. I mean, it is completely true if you've seen the series. Watch every single Pacific episode. There are points they show you why he acts this way. Besides his tragic backstory, he does do this because brothers don't give him the room to grow. And it is truly interesting how many people sort of forget to see this. Even that some of the things he does over exaggerate, like the movie says, we're not brothers because something we made up to make her feel better. Once more, that's sort of true because he is a realistic person, but I understand this is pushing too far, and that's understandable. Even that we all should know their characters are not real people, it's just sort of a story to help compel the show and movie. But even that, I found that sort of interesting because do people forget the reasons why Panda do things? Even that he sort of have almost completely story arc. Even that he never got a W. Even that he's the one who always sacrificed something with his own brothers, and the brothers don't really sacrifice enough of him. You can see why people maybe are frustrated because maybe people want to see him win a couple of times, at least once, to feel him more better as a character. And I think that's sort of the problem of Panda, that people like him or people hate him because they don't see half the whole equation, but not realizing people sort of relate way too much to Panda. Let's face it, something he does, you kind of do or understand why. Sometimes you don't want to admit it, or people do admit it. Yeah, I relate to him. I understand him. Of course, I do believe he pushes too far, but you get it. You do the reason why people sort of forgive him and people won't because they still believe he is a horrible person. Even that he proves constantly he could throw off his own brothers. Constantly he could easily show Charlie, the Bigfoot character, to his existence, to his classmates, to get an A on his class and get respect. He doesn't. He always eats his own pride. It shows his love for his friends and family. Even he thinks it's annoying, he actually give up. Even if he's always wrong, he's willing to grow. And that's what Panda is hitting and beloved. At least that's sort of my point of view. Of course, there are more answers than that, but you get the idea. You understand why people hate him or misunderstand why they hate him, why people who like him, the reason they can't really hate him. In fact, do you like or hate Panda? Or are you indifferent, you just like all three We Wear Bears? Tell me down below, let me know. I got nothing else to say, just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.